This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, we have some back-to-school health tips for your family. Happy Labor Day. This is our Labor Day FYI special, and we have a lot of interesting information for you from FYI and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. Well, if you think Labor Day is just a day to mark when you have to stop wearing white for the year, here's a story for you. According to the United States Department of Labor, the first Monday in September is dedicated to the social and economic achievements of American workers. It became a national holiday on June 28th of 1894. The first Labor Day was celebrated in New York City in September of 1882 as the Central Labor Union wanted a working men's holiday. And that is some of the history of Labor Day. In other news, some schools have already returned to the classroom while others will start this week. Lisa Sugar talks with a local healthcare provider about what you need to know for a happy and healthy school year.
Some kids have already gone back to the classroom and others will be heading back very shortly. Here with some great advice for parents and students, I'm talking to Sarah Magula, who is a nurse practitioner here at Mountaintop Pediatrics in Hazel Township, also an office on Route 309 in Mountaintop. Sarah, thanks so much for joining us. As the kids are going back to school, we want to make sure that they're doing everything right so that they get the best grades they can get. So they need to be well prepared, parents and kids, right?
Yes, definitely. The best advice right off the bat is you want to make sure your children are getting enough sleep to start their school year. I know in the summer the schedules get a little crazy, a little wacky. Start as early as possible to get them back into that school routine. I know we're kind of at the last minute here, so if you haven't already, try and get them back onto a regular school routine, regular bedtime, so to make sure the kids are getting enough sleep to start their day.
When we're talking about what they're eating, I'm sure it's important for breakfast and also maybe if they're taking a lunch. So we got to look at the food too, right?
Yes. The best thing now, I know parents are rushing in the morning. They're trying to get out the door themselves. The kids are trying to get out the door too. So instead of trying to just give them the sugary cereals, you may want to look at a couple options: yogurt, some fruit, maybe a little granola. If you're more crunched for time, I know they're doing some fruit smoothies with some veggies there. Dole actually makes a combination product. You get it in the freezer section. It has a fruit and veggie mix right in there that you just add a little bit of this frozen mix with some juice. You mix it up, and that way they have a little balanced for breakfast. For lunch, that's more of a trickier option. I know you kind of want to stay away from Nutella every day or a salami and cheese sandwich. Some other good choices may be a salad, even with something as simple as your leftover protein that you had from dinner the night before, whether it's roast chicken, maybe shrimp, a fish, hard-boiled eggs. You could do that all on Sunday and add that to their salads throughout the week. They do make some good cooler options so that it could last and stay a little fresh for the kids till it's lunchtime.
And then as far as seeing their doctors, the parents and the students coming in here, because there are vaccinations required for schools and on different age levels. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, starting with the kids heading to kindergarten, they need a few vaccines when they're headed in. Hazleton School District also requires PPD, which needs to be done. So if you haven't filled out that paperwork for the school district, take a look at it. Probably picked it up at registration, or if your kids were in school last year, they probably brought that home. Then also in 6th grade, they are also having some vaccinations needed, the MMR, the Tdap. You want to look at that. And then as they get older and you're thinking high school, heading off to college, starting at the age of 16, there's some vaccinations you want to look at there. The Men B starts at that age. The meningitis, going back to the 6th graders, starts around there. And also focusing on the 6th graders, that's when the American Academy of Pediatrics is recommending to start the HPV vaccines to protect them as they get older and move on through their young life.
Okay. And just, I guess, some everyday advice. I know as the kids go back to school, they tend to bring their germs home, and we all want to stay healthy. So what are some just ordinary tips that we can keep everybody healthy?
Well, starting off the school year, we also head into cold and flu season, where your little ones may seem like they're sick just about every day. They're coming home with something. The biggest tip is make sure they wash their hands as soon as they come home, before they eat. If you even think about it, I know Bath and Body Works makes the little Travels hand sanitizers. They could use them before lunch, before they're eating there. Or I know most of the schools do a bathroom break, so they could wash their hands there. That's the best way to prevent anything, because they don't just like to share their toys. They like to share pretty much everything else. So it's a busy season. So you just want to try and keep them healthy as possible. And that ties back to the sleep too. The more sleep, the better off their immune system is going to be to fight off those infections that they're going to bring home.
All right, well, great advice for all parents, students going back to the classroom, or maybe new students heading into the classroom. Great advice. Make sure that you plan ahead so that you can have your children eat properly, sleep properly, and have a great school year.
Thanks a lot, Lisa. Speaking of good health, the annual Senior Citizens Expo will take place this Thursday at the Laurel Mall. The free event is hosted by State Representative Tara Toohill. This year, free flu shots will be provided to seniors with insurance cards. Those without insurance cards can pay for the immunization with cash or a check. The cost of the regular dosage is $32, while the cost of the higher dosage vaccine is $65. In addition to flu shots, there will be free health screenings, including glucose, cholesterol, blood pressure, and colon cancer. The blood work and glucose test will be performed from 8 to 10 a.m. The Senior Expo will feature more than 70 exhibitors from nonprofit agencies, local, state, and federal governments, and area businesses. It will be held Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. in the Boscov's wing of the Laurel Mall. And speaking of the Laurel Mall, the sales are in full swing today as the Laurel Mall's huge Labor Day sale continues. Stop by and get some great deals. Enjoy the seating areas, charge your cell phone at the charging stations, and enjoy something great to eat at one of the restaurants. And don't forget the new Zuzu rides. And remember, the Laurel Mall is closing today at 6 p.m. for the Labor Day holiday. Well, don't stop the celebration today. Carry it over into this upcoming weekend for Fun Fest. We are 5 days away from the party in downtown Hazleton with food, entertainment, games, rides, and more. For a complete list of all the fun, go to funfestpa.org. One of the men who helped make Fun Fest what it is today is no longer with us, but each and every year his legacy lives on. Rocco Colangelo Sr. helped sculpt Fun Fest during its early years, and his hard work is still remembered by those who organized the event today, and one of those people is his son.
For a number of years, my father was the chairperson, and he oversaw the growth of the event and all the volunteers and the people that worked so hard, and he was one of the driving forces behind that, which is so incredible. And after he passed, which was the eve of Fun Fest in 2002, which was just unbelievable, the committee got together and said, going forward, we would have an award for the parade that would be in his memory, which is just, it's amazing. And what we try to do as a committee is select something from the parade that really reflects the theme and kind of goes above and beyond. And that's who gets the award for in memory of my father, which I can't tell you how much it does my heart good to do that each year and to have that live on.
The 2016 Fun Fest Parade will be held at 2:30 p.m. on Sunday in downtown Hazleton. We've had other Fun Fest preview segments here on FYI. We even talked about the entertainment. If you missed any of them, just go to last week on our archive news page, which is at SSPTV.com. Coming up on this FYI Labor Day special, our friend and SSPTV show host, Dr. Bafil, will impart some of his healthy lifestyle wisdom. And in sports, we take a trip high above the Pocono Raceway to talk with the two track announcers about their very interesting job.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
Core Fitness in Hazleton is getting ready to offer local women another great way to stay in shape. Their indoor cycling and strength training for weight loss workshop kicks off soon. It's going to run for 8 weeks and classes are an hour long on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, plus menu, shopping lists, and more to make sure you're eating right. Get a group of friends together and call Core to sign up at 570-455-7818 or stop by at 711 West Broad Street in Hazleton. Here's some health advice now from Dr. Bafil.
Folks, here on our Labor Day segment, 3 tips, 3 things to do to help keep your brain healthy and keep the mental mind mood going. Number 1, let's eat plenty of cruciferous vegetables, fish, got to get that omega-3 fatty acid, some good nuts and seeds. We got to feed our body properly. That's the major part of number 1. You got to get the right nutrients in your body. Starve the body of the bad stuff, okay? Number 2, we want to drink plenty of fluids. Folks tell me all the time, I drink coffee, I drink beer, you name it. We need to drink water. Water is the elixir of life. Our body is mainly water. So drink mainly fluids, okay? And number 3, we need to, while you're laboring here on Labor Day, we need to make sure you're laboring your brain. Crossword puzzles, you know, many different things. Rubik's Cube, you know, there's things that you can do to challenge your brain, and reading as well. Just doing things to keep your brain active. It really will continue to enhance those neurons inside. Let's keep your mind, mood, and memory going. Thank you, folks. Have a great day from Feeling Good.
Very relaxing, isn't he, Dr. Bafil? Well, what's better than jumping in a pile of leaves with a sweater on and then taking a sip of some homemade apple cider? Our new fall programming season on SSPTV, that's what. Don't miss brand new episodes of all your favorite shows like The Girls, Feeling Good with Dr. Joe Bafil, and then there's my favorite, Out of Left Field. Plus, learn about the community in Let the People Know, and of course, our continuing series of special Sam LaSant shows entitled On the Road to the 2016 Election and much more. Check out our exciting fall lineup on SSPTV, and you can also watch all your favorites online anytime at ssptv.com. This segment of FYI was brought to you by Valley High Drive-In in West Hazleton. Hold on to some of the summer. Enjoy some ice cream and great food on Route 93 in West Hazleton. You can give them a call at 570-455-5362. The Sportscast is coming up next, and we have a special story with Dino Alberto, local motorsport journalist.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
If you've ever been in the FYI Fast Lane, our racing segment with motorsport journalist Dino Alberto, you know the man has amazing knowledge of racing. You also know that he can talk. I wish I could share with you all the stories he tells me off camera. He's just super interesting, and that's good for his other gig as a track announcer at the Pocono Raceway. I met up with him during the last NASCAR weekend at Pocono. This might be the best seat in the house that doesn't require a safety harness. High above the Pocono Raceway, Dino Alberto and Earl Krause lend a narrative to the action on the track.
We know that many times we have new fans here. Many families come to Pocono for the first time to watch the races. And what our job is to give them the information, let them know about the drivers, personalize the drivers. It's one thing to see them on the track driving a race car, but we like to tell the fans what the drivers do when they're not competing, their backgrounds, about their families. We tell them about the statistics of the sport, their history, and we really try to make it as interesting as we can because, again, there's many generations of fans and racers here at Pocono.
You got to keep an eye on just about everything as much as possible. We have the luxury of having monitors, so I can keep a track of what's happening with certain cars. Are they running closer? Are they picking up lap times and getting faster as the race goes on? If the leader is maybe a distance ahead of everybody else, then you look back a little further. There's always side-by-side racing going on here that leads to something down the road.
Alberto and Krause have been working together for 10 years, and they have been working in racing way longer than that, and their experience pays off. Oberto started doing work at the Pocono Raceway in 1985, and Kraus has been around the track for about the same amount of time, so they know all the tricks the tricky triangle has to offer.
Obviously, there's certain points of this track that you got to keep an eye on, because coming off the tunnel turn, for example, going into the short chute, that always gets a little risky and hairy, especially when they're running 2 and 3 wide. So those are some of the things that you got to keep watch for, and of course the leader himself and how well he's doing up in front, and it just leads from one point of the story to the next to the next.
At times they do take a break from the booth, but that doesn't mean they take their minds off of the action.
Sometimes silence is golden, and sometimes you might want to sit out in the grandstands and listen to, and see what the fans' reaction are. And it's not a bad idea to do that. And I do put a zipper on it once in a while, and I almost have to, because I think they need a break out there, the fans, and we need a break a little bit too, because not only am I done here, but it's off to Mahoning Valley on a Saturday night, so it's a full weekend for me. But it's what I do, and I'm again very lucky to be able to have the opportunity to do it here.
As the years have passed, technology has helped them in the booth, but these two still kick it old school from time to time.
Technology has really helped to a great degree. When we first started doing this, we would go down into the garage area and get notes and information ourselves about the drivers. Now a lot of it is supplied to us by the sanctioning groups such as NASCAR and ARCA, but we still like to do it the old school way. We like to go down in the garage area, talk to the drivers, get their input, get their information firsthand, just like we used to do years ago. And we like to, again, impart that information to the fans. So technology has helped, but it's still something that we like to do old school, just put our feet to the ground and go down there and meet the drivers and team members in person.
Both Oberto and Kraus do announcing at short tracks throughout the summer, and they enjoy that, but there's a special place in their hearts for the weekends when their voices mix with the noise of high-powered engines and their knowledge of the sport echoes off the Pocono Mountains at the unique 2.5-mile Tricky Triangle.
The last time a team won 4 consecutive wins was with Cunningham Motorsports, and that's who he drives for, Cunningham Motorsports. So, and that was back in 2009, by the way, and it'll be something. And I know this kid, even though he's not trying to put that pressure on himself right now, it's looming in the back of his mind. And he's on a roll at this point, and he's the car to beat.
You can read some of Dino's work in the Hazleton Standard Speaker, and Earl Kraus writes for Area Auto Racing News, a weekly newspaper. Hey, our FYI Cole Scale High School football rankings will be available tomorrow on FYI, so check us out then as we take a look back at Friday night's action, and we will rank our teams. It's time now, though, for Ron Marchetti, and he is here with another edition of Trivia Treats.
Happy holiday, everybody. Labor Day is almost over, which means school is in, summer is over, and football season has started. This is Trivia Treats. So let's start the new month with a trivia question. Name the Hall of Fame quarterback who was 0 for 7 when playing on ABC's Monday Night Football. This NFL quarterback never won on Monday night. Who is he? Now just think about that for about 90 seconds before I give you the answer. But first, on this day in 2001, New York Yankee pitcher Mike Mussina came within 1 strikeout of throwing the 4th perfect game in New York Yankee history when Carl Everett of the Boston Red Sox singled to left on a 1-2 count with 2 outs in the 9th inning at Fenway Park. That happened exactly 15 years ago, yesterday, 1 week before 9/11. Also, 20 years ago this past weekend, in 1996, Tiger Woods began a press conference by saying, "Hello, world." He announced that he was turning pro and had agreed to an endorsement deal with Nike, which at that time didn't even have a golf club division. Woods also signed an endorsement deal with Titleist. Woods would officially begin his career as a professional golfer at the PGA Tour event, which was the Milwaukee Open. Now, since everybody seems to be in some kind of a pool or fantasy football league, let me offer some pool tips. Why I never won. Number 1, don't partner up. You may lose a friend. Number 2, stay away from the majority, always. Number 3, stay away from the AFC and the NFC champs. Number 4, always stay away from going against the worst team. Number 5, look and listen to what the experts are saying and stay away from their locks of the week. Number 6, never go against a backup quarterback. Number 7, never play with your heart. And number 8, never say, I told you to say, or Mother of God. Now the answer to my question. What Hall of Fame NFL quarterback never won on Monday Night Football, losing 7 times? Answer, Joe Namath of the New York Jets, who later would work in the booth. Till Friday, be a good sport. Stay loose.
Mondays can be a big headache. Well, cheer up with Bottleneck's Little Neck Clam Special, $1.95 a dozen in melted butter.
Attention pay-per-view subscribers, if you see your name now on News 13, you'll have 13 minutes to call in and win a free movie from Service Electric Cablevision. Our winner tonight is Edward Jacobs of Hazleton. Edward, if you're watching, give us a call, 570-455-7267, extension 104.
We're getting ready for week 3 of high school football. I know, almost there. In our Football Friday feature this week, we'll talk with the Valley Chiefs as they get ready for the first ever Patriot Bowl on September 11th this weekend as they take on Freeland. We'll talk all about what's so special about that game on Friday. So much more coming your way this week on FYI, as well as we get you ready for Fun Fest 2016 with more previews. If you missed any of our previews, again, go to SSPTV.com. Check them out there. Remember, Facebook.com/FYI News 13 for breaking news. We'll see you again on Tuesday. Take it easy, everyone.